What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Zach Hankins for the donations to the channel via the Cash App. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. All right, so you had a question, and he asked me for my take on the Desmond Bane trade. Now, I didn't talk about this trade. This trade happened in the midst of the NBA Finals. And of course, in this trade, the Orlando Magic received Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies. And in exchange, the Memphis Grizzlies received Kentavious Caldwell Pope. They also got Cole Anthony. And I believe it was 4 first-round draft picks. A lot of people looked at those draft picks and said, man, this is a very uneven trade. And even I initially said, man, this trade just on the surface, just on the surface of it looks very, very uneven. Considering that I think when Kevin Durant was traded, the Rockets only gave up 1 draft pick for him, I believe. Now, this is the worst trade in NBA history. Remember Rudy Gobert, when he was traded, Utah got 11, I think, first-round draft picks for him, or at least 11 overall picks for him. But then I start thinking about it, right? Now, maybe you don't come to the same conclusion. But these are my thoughts on this, right? In the short term, I think this was a good trade for the Magic. And I'm going to tell you why. Orlando finished 41-41 this year, right? They're 41-41. And that was good enough for the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. And they lost in the first round to Boston. They did get 1 victory. I think they lost 4 games of 1 to the Boston Celtics. Remember, statistically, during the regular season at least, and into the playoffs, they had one of, if not the best defense in the NBA. Matter of fact, their defensive rating for the season, I believe, was 2nd. They had the 2nd best defensive rating in the NBA. And they gave up the fewest points in the NBA. So their defense was not a problem. Matter of fact, their defense was elite and championship level. The problem was their offense. Their offensive rating was 27th. And their scoring was like 28th. They weren't really a good scoring team. Now, some of that was skewed by injuries. Some of it was injuries. Remember Paolo Banchero, after dropping 50 early in the season, he wound up missing 36 games during the regular season. Franz Wagner, he missed 22 games, right? Jalen Suggs missed 47 games. Wendell Carter Jr., he missed 14 games. And I think his name was Montez Wagner, he missed 52 games. So they were besieged by injuries. So if they had not had as many injuries, you could realistically say they may have won 10 more games, right? Or at least 8 to 10 more games, right, over the course of the season, which was giving them a higher seed. Desmond Bane is a major upgrade, in my opinion, from KCP. KCP is 32 years old. That's not old necessarily by NBA standards of today. But, you'd rather have a 26-year-old whose future is still ahead of him as far as improving even a little bit more versus a KCP who seems to have peaked out. And if anything, he's going to have a slow but, inevitable decline as a player. Desmond Bane, for his career, averages over 17 points a game, over 4 rebounds, over 4 assists per game, almost 4 assists per game, on 47% shooting from the floor, 41% from three, and 88% from the line. This past season, Desmond Bane averaged 19.2 points, 6.1 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.2 steals. He comes from a culture, the Memphis Grizzlies, where, there have been an increase in expectations. You know what I'm saying? Memphis, although there had been a decline a little bit or stagnation in their progress, a couple of years ago, Memphis like one of those teams on the rise, right? And this is a guy that is essentially a guy flirts with 50, 40, 90 every year. This past year, he was 48% from the floor, 39% for three-point range, 89% from the line. He comes from a culture, a toughness, you know what I'm saying? I think this guy will be a major upgrade. He's going to help them offensively if he stays healthy, of course. And Orlando may benefit. Matter of fact, they should benefit. And I hate to put it like this, but they're going to benefit from some significant injuries that have besieged Eastern Conference players and teams. They're going to benefit, if things go right for them, from significant injuries dealing with Damian Lillard with the Milwaukee Bucks, who are not really expected to do much this year. This is going to be one of them years where people should understand Dame is injured. Giannis can only do but so much. So the expectations really are just to make the playoffs. Boston Celtics don't have Jason Tatum. Boston's also probably going to unload some of those big contracts of players who have been, on the team for quite some time. So Boston is probably going to take a bit of a step back. It's still going to be, I think, a winning team, but whether or not they're the 1-2 punch as far as seeds in the Eastern Conference, I don't know about that this year. And then, of course, we just saw the devastating injury to Tyrese Halliburton. Now, hopefully, Tyrese Halliburton has suffered a torn Achilles. But the fact that he was on crutches, greeting his teammates after suffering that, heartbreaking loss in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, that's not a good sign. And it may be a long-term recovery period for Tyrese. So what I'm getting at is the Magic may benefit from teams that have been decimated by injuries, which is ironic considering that they themselves were decimated by injuries this past year. So they may luck out on that. And then there's always this thing where it just seems like every year there's this team that breaks out and is a surprise team of the season. It happens every year. Perhaps it's going to be Orlando Magic. Even this year, Orlando was a tough out. They're a tough out, man. So this might work. But when I say work, I'm not saying they're going to win a championship. But if everything goes right, man, they could be the surprise team of the Eastern Conference, man. They could maybe a top 3 seed. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But yeah, Desmond Bane is far more dynamic than KCP. He's going to give you 20 points a night. He's going to help as far as having another guy that can consistently score and relieve some of the pressure off some of these other guys. So I think that, this is a good trade, especially in the short term. That's just my opinion, man. Tell me what you guys think.